Kylian Mbappé, he did speak to the media this morning and spoke on fans booing the team, saying that he understands the boos, but following up with I understand the fans. Before I was a footballer, I used to watch football, and when I was unhappy, I would speak badly about the players and boo them. So I understand. He did say, though, that the only thing I didn't like the other day was that they should boo the whole squad, not just a few players. If they have to boo, I understand, but they should boo the whole squad. They shouldn't focus on one player. We are all in the same situation. How do you feel about those comments, Geoff?
I like the fact he owned it.
Yeah.
Like he said, I was a fan. I was a kid. I used to boo players when I wasn't happy. But this is weird. This is just plain weird. They are 1 point off of Barcelona, OK? And there was a lot of booing. It was right from the... I mean, I've been there when they wave the hankies and they whistle. It's quite a marvellous thing, I've got to say. it is great to witness. But it's what they're booing, what are they actually booing? Because those individual players... You know, you can't be booing Mbappé and what he's done this season. Bellingham has had an OK season. He's certainly not been terrible. They're booing the club. They're booing the system and they're booing the player power. So now these are the traditional fans as well. So, I mean, it won't make a jot of difference to Florentino Perez. I've never seen a chairman get sacked. So that's not going to change. So it's a really strange situation. What happens if they win the league?
I have some friends that are Real Madrid supporters, and I have told them this. This fan base is the most spoiled fan base in all of football. They have more Champions Leagues than anyone else. They're 1 point off the top of the league. They have the best footballer in the world in Kylian Mbappé. But a little thing goes wrong, and they're freaking out. This is the fan base that ran Cristiano Ronaldo out, Iker Casillas out. Legends that maybe drop off form and they're gone. What have you done for me lately is the Real Madrid club motto. It has brought them incredible success, but the entitlement in this fan base is actually wild to me because they have won it all so many times. But then you look at the other side of it, is it maybe this kind of unrest is what drives them to win every time because they don't stand for any kind of slip. It's both sides. Who knows?
Well, we had the conversation on Friday. For me, I don't know what they want to do. In one moment, it's we hire Xabi Alonso, we want to take away from the player power, and we want to make a system and do all of these different things. And then we get rid of him because the players don't like him. So you go back to giving the players the power. I just think it's a case of lack of identity of what they want to be long term. So again, you're looking at how football's changed now. Arsenal have a way of doing it. Man City have a way of doing it. Barca have a way. Every big team has their style and their identity. Real Madrid is we buy the best players. We're the biggest name. We're the biggest brand. But from a footballing point of view, who are we? What are we? Do we attack well? Do we defend well? Who's the main protagonist in making sure that this team now has a style and identity? I think that's where the boos are coming from now. In the boos in regards to Vinicius Jr., that in my opinion, they're well earned. Since he told us, miss out on the Ballon d'Or, he told us he would be better. Factually, he hasn't. He hasn't performed to that level. I think the Jude Bellingham stuff, maybe I'm a little bit biased, he's from Birmingham like me, he's a little bit like, it's unfair. He had a shoulder operation, missed pre-season, came back early to try and be with the team, and he's not quite at that level he once was at. And he's 22. I don't know. There's the whole feeling around it. Just seems a little bit like we've built him up to try and tear him down. But for me, I think he will come good, and this will come good.
Where I think there's a real disconnect as well, though. If the players, to Kylian Mbappe's point, were booing the individual players, and from what we understand, they were booing the player power and them getting the manager sacked, well, that would appear to be the policy that the club has endorsed. So how does that go forwards? How on earth do you sort that? And you've got the problem with them trying to buy the seats off the fans, the legacy fans, because they want more tourists there. So it's already an uneasy relationship between the fans and the club.
Because it's going away, like most football clubs now, it's going from football to business, and the business is overweighting the football. Again, there's an element of that going hand in hand, but when you start to look at the numbers and what you can bring in and what you can generate as opposed to who we are historically, and these fans is what Geoff's talking about, been here for 60 years, and it's like this seat my grandfather sat in and my granddad, and and he just keeps going into all these different things. I think the biggest part for me with Real Madrid is who are we trying to be? What are we trying to be? And can we stick to that?
Real Madrid, they do host Monaco in Champions League this week. Do you think that the booing continues this week at home?
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
I think it will do until there's some clear direction, from whether that be messaging, whether that be on the pitch, you see it. But there needs to be some clear dialogue now as to what we are trying to do. You brought in a manager. Again, let's be fair, Xabi Alonso was a risk. He was the flavour of the month. We hadn't seen enough work to see whether he was the guy that could turn this massive club, arguably the biggest club in world football, into what they wanted it to be. So it was a risk. You took that risk. But where are we going now? What are we going to do? How are we trying to be?
I think Real Madrid they've been so successful that the weakness is that they don't have, they can't think like long term. Like if you bring someone in, there is no, okay, long term. You don't have like other clubs can take a little bit more time with a project. You need to get the results.
But the football's changing. The way football is operated, the way football businesses operate, the way transfers are operated, it's completely changed now. Everybody has long-term plans with the view of winning short-term, but also a succession plan. All the best clubs now, if they were to lose, if Man City lose Pep Guardiola, they've got somebody in line who they want to bring in. Doesn't guarantee you success, but you know what you're going to do. You can't sack Xabi Alonso and then go, who's in the building? Yeah, right, you, come and do it. That's not a succession plan.
Kylian Mbappé, he spoke on his relationship with recently fired manager Xabi Alonso. The striking moment at the end of Alonso's tenure came when Mbappé seemingly defied his coach's wishes to remain on the field for a guard of honor after the Spanish Super Cup final. But Mbappé said that he had a strong relationship with his former boss. He also defended Alonso's tenure, saying, quote, "Say that Xabi hasn't succeeded isn't true. In the end, he left before the titles were decided. He only lost one title. I wish him all the best. I like his vision of football. He has this obsession with details, with the game, and he knows a lot about modern football. In the end, what happened, happened." Now, Aaron, it seems like Mbappé was part of the unrest that led to Xabi's departure. Are you buying that he did have a good relationship with the former manager?
I don't think I believe this. I think this is a really easy way to look like the good guy after he's gone and say, oh man, he was great. We had a great relationship. Everything was cool. But then he's going to go back to the locker room and Xabi Alonso won't be there telling him to run more, to press more, to do everything that he wants him to do. So I think this is a little bit of a professional face-saving quote to say, no, I wasn't in Florentino's ear saying I wanted this guy out because he tries to make me run. I think it's just no, he's good. He's fine. We were fine.
There was one quote in there that leapt out at me. Obsession with detail.
Yeah.
What? So, I mean, does that speak loudly of the frustration we'd heard about that they couldn't deal with Alonso's detailed and too tactical? Obsession with detail. That's damned with faint praise, isn't it?
There's an even simpler point to that. There's video surfacing because these players forget that we all see everything online. Joe and Alonso were saying, hey, guys, come over here and let's give him the guard of honour. Yep. Who was the one player that said, we're not doing that, come with me? Mbappé. Now all of a sudden, we didn't have any problems, we were fine. There was a power struggle. It's always happened.
Him off.
And he won.
And he
so
won.
He
and he won the power struggle. The thing you need to do now is just say, I've got nothing to say, move on. This is where I can't stand the modern footballer now. It's like we see things that happen. You then tell us that what we've seen isn't what happened. You're lying to our faces.
Right
we can see you. Stop lying. Just say it as it is, and we'll be fine. That's why I have no interest in it. And also, when he said, before I was a fan, this is the same Kylian Mbappé that says football's so hard that he doesn't want to do it for too long, and he would tell his son not to do it. But in the next breath, he's telling you he used to be a fan. I used to boo. It's like, which one is it, dude? Yeah, not for me.